Hello everyone. It's Big Wise Crypto here. I did a thread the other day on Pepecoin because I became a holder very recently, and the thread had a lot of love and attention, and I got quite a few follows, likes, retweets, and stuff like that. So keep those coming. I was pretty happy with that, and I said that I would do a follow-up video to take you through some of my thoughts, particularly around the website that they've launched. I believe it was launched last month, and it had an update just yesterday or 2 days ago. And so in my thread, I mentioned that I'm not much of a meme coin guy. I don't really care too much for it, but this particular project caught my attention, first of all, because Tyler, his tweet somehow ended up on my timeline, and I went down the rabbit hole. And because his tweet was about locking up a huge amount of Pepecoin for a substantial length of time, showing the conviction that he had in what this project was about to deliver, or supposedly is about to deliver. So I looked into it and came up with my own conclusions, which I think were quite positive, and I shared that in my tweet. And today I just want to expand on that and go over some of the things that I like about what they've done with this website launch, which I think is going to be the basis of all these other things that they're building and looking to integrate. So I will just go over and quickly reload this website, pepecoin.io, because if you are as old as I am, this brings back memories. This logo is the Energy Star power saving logo that used to come up on the loading screen, and this of course is the Windows XP loading icon. And we've got this page, the login screen, where the Pepe inside instead of the Intel inside. So I think this is really cool. It's made really well and mimics what I recall to be some of the best days of my teenage years growing up. I did a lot of coding back in the day in a language called Pascal, which many of you probably never heard of. It was either that or playing Football Manager to the wee hours in the morning here in Sydney. So this loading screen gives you two options. One, to sign in with a wallet, which I've already connected. It's just a burner. And the other one as a guest. So if I continue with my burner address, it comes up with a Pepe Messenger app, which for me actually doesn't work. There seems to be an error with within the Google Chrome console. And I've raised this with the team in the chat. Hopefully they're working on it. So we'll close that for now. And as you can see, this is like how I remember using Windows decades ago. So the start button down here, it works. Most of these links work. And you'll see a whole range of desktop icons. So we'll start from the top. Pepe Explorer, i.e. Internet Explorer. And it's got some default topics on the left, but you can also type in your own question to Pepe, because this is the AI-powered backend. It might just be a teaser of what they're working on, which is a decentralized AI blockchain, which I thought was really cool, particularly because they're looking to try and harness the power of the dormant miners, the mining GPUs that have pretty much either been sold off or switched off ever since Ethereum moved to proof of stake. So the tokenomics, it's pretty straightforward and talks about the original launch, which also is discussed in the history, which I think is interesting. The price gives you the current price. About Pepecoin is a meme-based operating system comprising of a suite of decentralized open source social fi applications wrapped around a DeFi ecosystem. Now, if you take note of this part, I will refer back to this later. In essence, Pepecoin is creating the tooling for an open source town square for the cryptocurrency space. Users can use Pepecoin's decentralized applications to communicate, hang out, trade, and entertain themselves while they go about their crypto business. Who said finance couldn't be fun? So with all this talk about ETFs probably being approved in January and a potential bull market coming around next year, we're going to get an influx of new people that have heard about cryptocurrency trading. And whilst a bunch of them will go through the ETF route, I am sure that a portion of them will also come into the ecosystem by themselves and set up wallets, etc. So I think this space is primed for a run-up, a resurgence. And the idea that these guys have of using the meme power of Pepe to get that reach, because this character obviously has great reach, similar to Doge and possibly Shiba, and coupling it with the reach, the potential reach of DeFi once everything hits the ground running next year, hopefully next month. I think it's going to be a really good opportunity for someone, maybe not necessarily this project, maybe someone else will come up with it, but if these guys do deliver on what they're proposing or planning, I think there's great potential in this particular project. So that's pretty exciting. And the utility of the coin, I talk about that. You can read this in your own time. I want to touch on the history a little bit because I know that there's a lot of debate going on about who's the first, all that kind of stuff. And I've done my own research, and to me it looks pretty clear cut because there are Twitter posts from way back when, 2016, that allude to this coin. And as far as I know, you can't go back and edit tweets from that long ago. Like if you have the verified mark, you have like a small time window to edit your tweets, but there's no way that you can go back 7 years and change stuff to suit your narrative. So unless someone can give me a concrete example of how these tweets are possibly fake, I'm happy to go with my gut instinct. Well, not gut instinct because I've done my research, that this team is indeed the OG. And whether that means the same people still remain from back then or not, that's a different story. And I believe there are some changes in members, but the fact remains that they have access to the original Twitter account and also the Bitcoin forum, the Bitcoin Talks forum. They have a thread there dating back to way back when you could mine the original Pepecoin on their very own layer 1 blockchain. So there's good experience within the team if some of the same members are still around, and I think that's a really positive sign. So anyway, that's that. I don't really care much about who was first because at the end of the day, like if you think about mobile phones, for example, the first big brand to make it mainstream and have the majority share, pretty much all the share, was Nokia. I remember back in high school, everyone had Nokias, right? So you could say that they were the first to have mobile phones that were widely accepted by the people, by us. But that doesn't mean that Nokia can just release a phone right now and just say, oh yeah, like, oh, you know, we were the first, so therefore we're still the best, or you should buy our phones. No, because Nokia are no longer around. I think they were bought out by Ericsson. So that's the kind of thinking behind, at least what I think, in terms of being first, being second, is not as important as actually delivering stuff. So we'll move along to the next app. There are so many apps here. So we went through the Pepe Messenger. Today or yesterday, they made an update where you can check your stats. And as I said, this is a burner account, so there's nothing here, but you can actually do your depositing into Based AI, the farm, from this interface, and then it will tell you how many rewards you've accumulated and you can claim it, etc. So makes it very simple. And the Keck bot is something that was teased by Tyler. So I mentioned earlier to take note of what they're trying to do, DeFi and SocialFi together. And this is it. So, well, at least I think it's part of it. So the trading bot, DeFi trading bot, and on the right-hand side, you can see the social stuff being integrated. And apparently this is going to be available for people that hold coins, I believe. And yeah, it's something that I don't really see many other meme coin projects building something like this, if they do release it and if it is of very good quality. All right, so we'll go back and quick links to Dex Tools, Uniswap, the Twitter account, Telegram channels, and the Pepe Mail, which is the Outlook, the old Outlook. So you can have a look around there as well. And then you've got Note Pepe, which is pretty cool. Like everything works. You know, I can do that. I can copy, paste, and then I can even go edit, not edit, view, no, format, word wrap, any word wraps. So that's working. Winamp, I used to have this always on and listening to music. They got the Pepecoin, Pepe Shark song, which is really cool. And then you've got this Pepe Paint. So all these apps have been Pepe skinned, which is cool. So Pepe Paint, which was used by a MS Paint artist to create a piece that I believe is going to be a giveaway for holders, a really cool piece. And that person made it entirely inside of this interface, which is pretty cool. I'm not much of an artist, so there's my scribble. It's got to be worth something. So close that down. And Meme Sweeper. There you go. There's the frog. It's pretty cool. And then just the selection of games that run off emulators that you can play within this operating system. So whilst this isn't the end goal for the project, as far as I know, because they are building that blockchain, etc., it still serves as a really good glimpse into the capabilities of the team. And one of the things that I look for when assessing the capabilities of a web dev team is to see how complex the desktop site is, and then have a look at how it renders in mobile. So can a mobile user get the same experience? So let's have a look at what happens when we do a Google inspect. And we do this toggle and give it a refresh. And you'll see that everything works. It's the same. So the experience across different devices is seamless. And if I click any of these apps, they all open up, they work, Winamp works, music still plays, etc. And this is easy to do if your desktop website is like a typical block layout where you've got perhaps an image, then a block of text, and then you have another row with another image and a block of text. Now, when you turn that into a mobile site, all that happens is it kind of squeezes inwards, and the blocks just move, shift one on top of another. So we'll end up with an image, and then underneath there'll be a text. Whereas on the desktop, it was beside it, right? So that's a typical responsive layout. But in this case, this isn't a typical website. When we looked at the desktop thing, it's trying to replicate an operating system. It's got lots of moving pieces, different apps that have different layouts and requirements. Yet when you change this to a mobile device, it still works. And that is very difficult to do, depending on, like I said, the complexity of the original desktop site. So what it tells me is that the dev team have great attention to detail. Attention to detail meaning that they understand that there are different people accessing the website on different devices that have different screen resolutions, etc. So this is good. It's a good habit. It's a good skill to have when in anything, right? Attention to detail, because it just gives you that extra margin compared to your competitors, and it also gives you that extra security in being able to pick up bugs and things that would hinder the user experience. And user experience is everything. It's very important. So I'll go back to the desktop site, and I just want to sort of touch on, I don't want to make this too long, so I just want to touch on the project. And for full disclosure, I own a very small bag, like a very small bag. If this thing goes 10x or whatever, it's not really life-changing for me, but the satisfaction for me will come from if they are able to deliver on these things. I'll be satisfied that I was able to pick a project that actually delivered for the holders. And the hope for me is that, yes, of course, they do deliver. And what that will do, or what it should do, is it should raise the standard, the minimum standard, raises the bar for other projects to follow. So right now, meme coins the majority of them can sort of exist, and they do exist by just being a meme and perhaps just run spaces where you make funny noises or shout things and just be really obnoxious, and that sort of gets you through a period of time, enough time so that people can dump and then eventually it goes to zero. And too many people are throwing money at these things, which is, it's your money, of course. You're free to do what you like with it, but I think for the greater good of the industry, for blockchain, Web3, for us to progress forward, I think holders need to demand more, and rightly so, because it's your money that you're putting in, right? And I think if a meme coin is able to build and deliver high quality tech or projects or products, then all of a sudden there's pressure on other meme coins to do the same thing. Otherwise, maybe their holders are going to jump ship. And I hope this space becomes harder and harder for projects to make quick money and then run, because that doesn't really help anyone at the end of it. Well, it helps the people who run, but it doesn't help the greater community. I do believe in the technology, blockchain, and I do believe that it's going to change the world. But for that to happen, we needed to go through this previous bear cycle where hopefully we've gotten rid of a lot of gamblers and moonboards, etc. I know we can't fully get rid of them, but at least I hope that there are more people now who are educated enough to contribute to projects, not just throw money in, don't do anything, and then just wait for someone else to do something so that the price goes up and then they can dump, right? I hope that Pepe holders, if you are already one, or if you are thinking of becoming one, I hope you look beyond the meme, have a look beyond the frog, and see what's cooking in the background, because it might interest you. Or maybe you have a set of skills that could contribute, or maybe you'll be able to make some suggestions that help the team out, because no team is perfect and no team knows everything, and some of the best feedback or suggestions can come from the community, in particular if there are tens of thousands of people, right? Like that many minds, and you probably all have jobs and different skills. So I think it's a collaborative effort, and I'm just simply looking forward to what lies ahead in the next couple of months. So that is all. Thank you for watching and listening, and catch you next time.